What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Scream 6 and CCXP. We did that video, where I talked about, is it possible? Could we get something at this? And I will be very, very honest, as the days were leading up to it, like yesterday, day before, even today, I didn't think. It really seemed kind of obvious, right, that it wasn't going to happen. Stranger things have happened for sure, and we talked about, obviously, last year was a pretty big deal at CCXP, but I believe Paramount did have their kind of behind the scenes, or well, everything really at CCXP is behind the scenes because they're not really live streaming any of it, but they did have their presentation thing there, and there was no, obviously, Scream 6 trailer. Otherwise, you guys would have seen it. I'm almost positive by now. So that sucks, I suppose. Again, though, as days were getting closer, it didn't seem very likely. There was no hints or teases of really any kind, right? And we're kind of dealing with the fallout of all of those leaked pictures, which, I made kind of posts on all of my last videos. Seems like they're going after people for those posts. So number one, they are all very, very real. And number two, if you go back and watch my older videos, you'll notice those pictures are no longer present. I'm doing that to kind of protect myself. But where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Well, here we are, December 1st, and we don't have a trailer. That's okay. That's okay. I don't think we're going to get it, though, this first couple week stretch. I know a lot of people have been focusing on really two movies. One of them, I won't say the full name because I don't know YouTube's kind of policy with it, but let's say a bear that, definitely does things that a bear doesn't normally do, which we got a trailer for yesterday, I believe. At least that's when I saw it, but yesterday, possibly, probably. And that movie, I believe, actually comes out in February. Now, that's Universal, but still, you look at from when the movie's releasing to when the trailer for that movie is coming out. And then today, you have Transformers, right? So that one's a lot more interesting, and Transformers is in June. Now, why is Transformers getting a trailer so early compared at least to Scream 6? Well, Transformers is huge. Again, people are trying to explain this online. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that Transformers is massive, and this tends to happen for trailers. You look at like Marvel, you could have used to use it as an example, but what they do now, right, is they don't release trailers when other things are going on, so they actually do release trailers closer to when the movie comes out. But this is pretty normal. But I think all things considered, with the bear doing things and then Transformers, I do believe we are very close. Now, it continues to seem like, I know people have thrown out that, is it Megan, that doll, animatronic or whatever it is, that movie, I think that comes out very early January. People were throwing that around, that maybe Scream's trailer gets attached to that one. I think even Viewer Anon maybe said that would be a potential. I don't think it should get into January. That doesn't really make much sense to me. We talked about the whole almost like a 3-month rule that's, Scream 5 had. I guess there is no rule though, right? So that's kind of the thing when we talk about it. It's just a historic, we just look back at history for a trend. The trend one time for Scream, because you can't really go back to 4, that's too far, is 3 months before. Could they go even less and do 2 months before? Yeah. I would say, I don't know, from just my knowledge of mainly gaming, but you probably want to give people a pretty okay heads up. Now, of course, we know the movie exists and is releasing, but the general public, there's a sweet spot. You don't want to give them 9 months notice and then so they can forget about it for the next 6 and then you come back. But you don't necessarily want to give 1 or 2 months notice, because that's not enough time to normally, and that's, I guess, subjective, but that's the general rule, at least in my world, it's the general rule. So I wouldn't like it to be in January. The issue, though, as we've constantly said, and I really do believe it could potentially be an issue, is Christmas. I don't know if they'd be willing to do something around Christmas time. And Christmas time would have been 3 months before when it was originally going to release, right at the end of March 31st. That would have been 3 months. Now that it's March 10th, I believe it should happen. I want it to happen. I think it would be a better decision to happen over the next, honestly, I'm looking at the count, 1 week. 1.5 weeks. That's what I think would be the best. I've said it before, as you get closer to Christmas, I just don't know. Movies release on Christmas, but I don't know, they tend to be pretty specific, and they tend to actually be pretty hit or miss. Releasing a trailer for your horror movie on the week of Christmas or even the week of New Year's doesn't seem all that smart, at least to me. Maybe it actually works. Maybe it's more people home that are online. I would tend to disagree there, though. I actually think metrics show that that is not the case, just based off what I know. So I think it would be better to do it the first half of December. But honestly, what it seems like, if it is with that, God, I hope the movie's name is Megan. If it's not, whatever that doll child thing is. But that movie looks really, really weird, at least to me. I know it's got its fans, and that's totally fine. If they're gonna do it with that, well, that's actually taking a different approach, right? So they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it in this fake scenario early December, but they're also not actually going to do it during that Christmas time, right? They're actually going to do it right after. So that does make sense, because if you're not going to do it now and you don't want to do it around the holidays, you do it right after the holidays with another movie that you own, right? Makes a lot of sense. I mean, there is a reason why people are saying that, okay? So it does make sense. It's just now you're giving people 2 months notice until the movie comes out. And hey, I'm sure there's been many other movies that have done it before. I prefer a little bit bigger, but like I said, it's a window. I mean, maybe it's 4 months early, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 2, right? It's a window. It's subjective. It's just my opinion on it, but I would hope it's early this month. Honestly, it's probably going to be early next month, though. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. When do you think the trailer is coming out? Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And if you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.